Hello, my name is Frances McNamara. I write historical mysteries, and I'd like to tell you about what went into writing the most recent one that I've written. It's number 8 of the Emily Cabot Mysteries, which begin in 1893. The most recent one is in 1909. They have a fictional character, Emily Cabot, who works with a fictional police detective in Chicago, and she meets real historical characters. So having gone from 1893 to 1909, where would the next one be? And the answer is World War I. This is the Women's Peace March 1914 in New York City. Jane Addams from Chicago was a historical figure who was very important as a pacifist in World War I. I already had my character involved with her, so World War I is the next place to go. First of all, you find some books. I always look for some memoirs that give you the voice of the people of the time, how they saw the time. Chicago Transformed is a good, solid book honing right in on World War I and Chicago. Blood and Smoke is about automobile racing at the time, which becomes an important element in the book. You go to look at newspapers, they're digitized. The Chicago Public Library has the Chicago newspapers. You can see what was going on. I do image searches around the internet and gather them into a Pinterest board for each of my books. You can see documentaries. A lot of them were out because it was 100 years since the war. So I honed in on spring of 1917 because in 1916, no one in America wanted to be in the war. The most popular song was, I didn't raise my son to be a soldier. But by 1917, we've got the ROTC on the campus of University of Chicago. That's a scene. We still got the Women's Peace Party. There are lots of tales of brutality of the Germans when they invaded Belgium. There's a lot of anti-German sentiment, and there were a lot of German Americans in Chicago. And of course, there was the racing going on in the background. I like to put in real places. So Blackstone Hotel is still there, and that was where the first scene of the book is set. Strand was a theater that was where they had meetings and so forth, and that's no longer there. Chicago Speedway is no longer there, but I use that for some of the scenes. Chicago Athletic Club, other places in Chicago. People, the 4-minute men. When you went to a movie, there would be 2 reels, and there would be 4 minutes between the first reel and the second reel when the operator was changing them. So George Creel was an advertising man in Chicago. He got a national movement going where people would go to get you gung-ho on the war in those 4 minutes by giving speeches. There was another group called the American Protective League, which was a little bit more sinister. They were almost like vigilantes trying to catch German spies or people who didn't sign up for the draft. Clarence Darrow is in the book. He was a labor lawyer at the time, and some of the real police officials in Chicago. The fictional characters. Emily has a daughter, Lizzie, and she's just of marriageable age. She's engaged in a prominent family, a young man. He and his father and his brother have an advertising agency. The sons are also involved in automobile racing. Lizzie's best friend is a member of the Women's Peace Party, and guess what? She's also engaged to the brother of the boy that Lizzie is going to marry, and she is the one who is found dead at the beginning of the book. So I hope you'll take a look at Death on the Homefront, which is coming out December 15th, which will put all these elements together, and I enjoyed talking to you. Thanks a lot.